Well, hello everyone. Thank you all so much for being here today. We're going to give everyone a minute or so to continue to trickle in, and we'll get started a minute, maybe 90 seconds after the hour. So if you're near your coffee machine, go quickly grab a cup of coffee, and we'll get started in a minute. And in the meantime, if you are glued to your computer, would love to hear where in the United States, where in the world that you're dialing in from. Myself, I am in lovely Chicago, Illinois, where it's 75 degrees and absolutely beautiful. But where are you all calling or dialing in from? I see another Chicago person here, Toronto. Hope you're getting to see some of your World Cup action, and for anyone that does celebrate, happy World Cup. I'm very excited. I wish the US had a meaningful game today. Not that today's game is not meaningful, but it's always fun the third day of group play to stress a little bit. Surprise Arizona, that's a fun one. Germany, Munich, or Munich, Germany, I should say. See some Liverpool. So we officially are global, which is super, super exciting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Seth Gilpin, and I will be kind of leading us and being our MC for today. We are super, super excited on behalf of the Reputation team to talk about reputation without boundaries. And I mean, it seems anytime you open up your LinkedIn or look at your inbox, you see dozens and dozens of emails and thought leadership posts about the new world of AI. And we're going to dive into that today. I'm joined by two brilliant colleagues of mine. So if we go to the next slide, like I said, my name is Seth Gilpin, and I lead product marketing here at Reputation, joined by Anu and Cary. Anu, do you want to kind of come off mute and quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Seth. Hi, I'm Anu Chaudhry. I am the Chief Technology Officer here at Reputation. Before Reputation, I have led engineering teams in networking companies, automotive tech, at Amazon. But the last 2 years at Reputation have been by far the most exciting. And I'm thrilled to be here at this webinar today to share some of that excitement with you all. Over to you, Cary.
Well, excellent. Thanks, Anu. Hi, I'm Cary Brand. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Reputation. Very excited to be here. Background-wise, I've built products for over 2 decades, as you can tell by the hair. But really excited to share with you some of the work that's been happening inside of Reputation. And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, a little jealous of Cary's hair. I don't have that don't have that luxury of a full head of hair, as you can see. Um, but yeah, super. I have the fun privilege of taking the really exciting things that Anu and Cary are building month after month, quarter after quarter, and it's kind of product marketing's job to think about how do we tell a story, how do we bring this to market, how do we articulate it to our customers. And over the next 45 minutes, we're going to dive into exactly that. So we have a really, really excited, jam-packed agenda for you all. We'll talk through a handful of slides. Cary's going to demonstrate some of the exciting new product launches, the new capabilities that are coming live today or in the very near future. And we're going to look at two different lenses today. We're going to start with this outside-in approach. And what I mean by that is thinking about your customers, thinking about the consumer. How are they interacting with the Chat GPTs and the Geminis and the Claude of the world? And what do those LLMs think about your brand? Then when we get into part two, we'll flip that script and look inside out and have a really exciting sneak peek of what's to come. But I mean, we're all consumers using AI day in and day out for how we find new brands and how we enter the new path to discovery. But at the same time, we as employees are using AI increasingly more and more, and using the power of what these LLMs can do and do really, really fast. And we're going to give a sneak peek about how Reputation's data, all of that voice of customer data that you're collecting day in and day out within our platform, how we can take that data and plug it into the tools that you are using. So if we go to the next slide to kind of kick this off, if you've been in the marketing space for a number of years, this will this should hit home to you that let me see if I can make microphone hopefully a little bit better. The search result page is disappearing. So over the last 5, 10, 20 years as marketers, we've been really focused on that search results page within Google, trying to be the top 3, the top 5, the top 10 of those blue links when a consumer is searching for your brand. Maybe it was a local map pack where you're trying to get into that top 3 if someone is searching for best automotive dealership near me, best pediatrician near me, that local map pack, kind of those traditional organic Google keyword results, where was our North Star as marketers. But as AI search is really changing how consumers are finding information, there's new emerging ways that we need to start optimizing for. So if we go to the next slide, again, we're all consumers. We're all very familiar with Google AI Overview. From Google's data, there are 2.5 billion monthly active users that are actively engaging with the Google AI Overview. And every time we have this slide and the next couple of slides, the stats continue to change. The stats continue to go up. But about 50% of all searches today now start with a Google AI Overview. So billions and billions of people every single month are no longer scrolling down to the traditional search engine results. They're no longer seeing that local map pack immediately after their search. They're getting surfaced with this AI overview, which is giving recommendations. Or maybe a consumer is going straight into Apple Maps. So if we go to the next slide. So Google started late last year, started rolling out Ask Maps into the native Google Maps experience. It's starting to make its way into the desktop experience as well. Google says that there's 2 billion monthly active users who are using Google Maps. The answers that Ask Maps is generating and outputting to consumers is powered by reviews. It's powered by your business profiles. And if we go one more slide, of course, there's the endless number of LLMs, whether you're a ChatGPT or a Claude or a Gemini or a Perplexity users. Again, this is a stat that's impossible to truly capture because every single day these numbers grow larger and larger. But there's about 1.5 million active monthly users that are using all of these different LLMs. There's 10 billion prompts every single day. And that consumer experience is fundamentally different than where it was a number of years ago. So as you're a marketer trying and thinking about your top of funnel discovery, how do you take online searches and convert that into offline in-store visits? It's a new path to purchase for the consumers. So if we go to the next slide, and the answers that the consumers are getting, the recommendations that a ChatGPT is delivering to a customer, that answer is really fueled by good data. That could be your website, that could be reviews, that could be third-party research, and every AI engine is doing the same thing. It's reading from billions and billions of online data points, and it's speaking from it to make a recommendation and provide an answer to that end user. So of course, the question for all of us, for kind of every marketer in the room, is how do I optimize my brands, all of my locations, so we can win this world of AI generated answers. So if we go to the next slide, really fascinating research from WhiteSpark that was published late last year. Their kind of local search ranking factor guide. And for the first time this year, they had an AI search category and asking 50 or so SEO experts 200 plus questions. And when it comes to AI search, the WhiteSpark report said that your on-page signals are the #1 ranking factor for AI search visibility. So kind of to understand how are your on-page signals performing, there's a number of questions that you need to answer about your corporate website, about all of your location pages that are feeding into that path to purchase for consumers. So you need to ask yourself and ask your web team, ask your SEO team, are the LLMs able to successfully reach our site? And once that crawler lands on your website, can it very quickly parse all of the information and understand what's being said? Is the content on your page, is it answering those really, really specific questions that consumers are actively asking? Does your website signal trust? Is there third-party validation? Do you have voice of customer feedback that is signaling trust back to the LLMs when they're making the recommendation for the best of this or the best of that? Is there third-party trust that's validating their answer? And last but not least, is that information accurate? If a consumer is asking, I want to find X, Y, or Z that's open right now that does these three things, is that information accurate across all of your websites? And to really answer all of these questions, there's really kind of like one fundamental question that you need to be thinking about and answering. And if we go to the next slide here, it's what are you signaling to these AI engines? So again, thinking about all of your owned properties, thinking about your websites and all of the web pages that you're managing across your portfolio, across your digital ecosystem, what are your owned properties signaling to these AI engines? That could be ChatGPT, that could be Claude, that could be Gemini, Perplexity, DeepSeek, Grok, that list goes on. Again, every single day there seems to be a new LLM that's gaining traction in the market. But what we at Reputation want to help you understand is give you a blueprint, give you understanding. So Cary actually is going to demo our new GEO Readiness Report that is live on to reputation.com. And if you go to reputation.com, you might notice that there's a new look, a new feel. There's a brand new website that also went live today. But Cary, why don't you walk us through our new GEO Readiness Report and kind of show everyone here how we can help answer that question of what are you signaling to AI?
Absolutely. So thanks, Seth. Let me reduce my slides here. Oops, there we go. Okay, here we go.
And Cary, I don't know if it's me, but not able to hear you.
Can you not hear me?
We can hear you, Cary.
Oh, all right. Well, then there we go. If I'm heard, then I'm heard. Okay. So I wanted to, Seth has been sharing a lot of information about this fundamental shift that we're seeing where AI engines are now sitting between your brand and every customer decision. Google AI overviews, the Ask Maps functionality that he showed, and all of the LLMs that we have at our fingertips. They no longer just hand customers a list of links. They actually answer questions directly, which is a pretty significant paradigm shift. That means that a brand can be fully optimized for like a web search through SEO, but essentially invisible on AI. So most businesses, they don't know kind of where they fall on that continuum. And this is why we built this. And it's exactly why we built this and why we're giving it to you all for free today. So this is Reputation's GEO Readiness Report. The entry point here is very, very simple. You enter in a few bits of information about yourself and about your company, and you just click check your GEO readiness, and it goes. So I'm going to show you a live demo of this. I went to go get my truck's oil changed yesterday, and so I went to Jiffy Lube, and so I've already filled out the information here that the 6 fields of information. But all you need to do to actually run this report is type in your location. I went to the Jiffy Lube in Southwest in West Seattle here, so I'm going to do that. I, of course, am always interested in getting information from our marketing team, so I'm going to opt in, and then I'm going to run the GEO readiness report here. Of course, we do want to talk about cars, so we are going to select cars. So I am a human. Those are motorcycles. Okay. We're going to verify that. And so what is happening here when this report happens? There's 3 things that are happening. We're measuring first the AI search discoverability. And this is, can an AI engine actually find and read your site? If they can't reach you, then really nothing else matters, right? The second thing we're measuring here is your AI search answer readiness. This is your content shaped, when AI evaluates your content that's on your public facing pages, is it designed such that an AI can consume it easily and readily. AI really rewards compact, factual passages on your websites. Long marketing copy, as much as we like to have long marketing copy, really isn't effective when it comes to this AI paradigm, and it will get skipped. And third, the evaluation here is trust signals. So do AI engines see through through third-party verification? This could be online reviews, it could be other blog posts, etc., that cite you to build trust signals. If you had two equivalent brands, let's say I have Jiffy Lube and I got Quaker State Lube, if that exists, and they're mostly equal, through the lens of an AI, it will cite the one that is most trustable. So trust is the tiebreaker here. Okay, so let's get into this report. The first page will just give you the information of what is available, what everything means, and that's great. But I'm very interested in understanding, well, how searchable is this Jiffy Lube in AI. So if we look here, the West Seattle Jiffy Lube that I went to did not score very highly. We do have an A through F scale, so it wasn't an F, but it definitely wasn't. It wasn't highly ranked. You can dig into the location audit here, and we actually show you those metrics that I mentioned: discoverability, AI answer readiness, and the trust signals, and you can see where the deficiencies are. And we do suggest some remedies here that you can dig into. And we also give you a little bit of the listing accuracy, et cetera, here. So that is the AI search readiness portion. The second piece here is the brand profile. And let me move Zoom because it is occupying my screen there. Okay. The brand profile piece is really a mirror that we hold up to you. And the part that really surprises people is it shows you exactly how AI describes your brand today. This is being pulled from your public web pages, your mission, core values, key messages. AI reaches for when someone asks about you, right? So if you want to know what AI is how it's going to respond to your brand, this is what will tell you that. How does your tone come across? So every business, every customer that I've spoken to as we've been developing these requirements for the product has really said, what is it that actually AI is really saying about us? And this report shows exactly that. And this is what's important, because if your brand is off from what you think it is versus what AI thinks it is, that's a problem. So this is the brand profile. So as you've seen, this report takes a few seconds to run, not very heavyweight. I'm not going to cover every piece of information in detail, but I will say that as a call to action, I would like each and every one of you to run this report and share it with your internal organizations, share it with your marketing, your digital, your ops team. See if this makes sense to them. And then when you're ready, if you see at the very bottom here, there's actually, if you want to get really into the details of whether your score is an A or an F, we want you to reach out to us. We're happy to walk through this report with you, explain what it is, and how it can impact your business and how we can help you improve that. So that is the AI readiness report. I'm going to switch gears here and show you a little bit of a preview of how we're putting this into the Reputation platform. So let me do that real quick here, and I will bring this up. This is showing the Reputation platform and how we've integrated in the brand and location level AI reporting. The big piece that we're going to be adding into the platform, you already have voice of brand today where you can add your brand guidelines for online review responses, but we're expanding that to include your overall corporate branding. And that is the mirror that we will hold up to AI to see how much they are aligned, right? So you get to define what your brand should look like. We will tell you how close AI is to being on brand when it responds to questions about your company. So in this case, the reporting will have your accuracy, all of the stuff that you've got today with like AI location presence. We are going to score it through the lens of AEO, GEO. Also within the report is the ability to address issues. So let's say that I've got a problem here with some of my brand alignment. I need to fill the gaps. We're going to look at your pages. So assume that we have a pages customer here. They've got some issues with one of their pages, the brake repair site. There's no FAQs. There's the paragraphs are too long, so AI is ignoring it. We'll put into the platform this ability to automatically fix and optimize those pages on your behalf. So very powerful. Second piece here, this is a high-level report. We will have an audit report for all of your location pages where you can dive deep into the details of how all those pages are performing through the lens of AEO. And so again, here's a report, an example we show here. How easy is it to discover the site? Is your site structured well? Is the content great? So we really want to help you be found and be found in a way that is on brand. Okay, so that is what I'm going to demo for now, and I'm going to kick it back over to you, Seth.
Yeah, thanks so much. As you were demoing, Cary, there was a number of questions from our attendees of where they can find this. Again, if you go to reputation.com right now, or hopefully after this call, I don't want you to leave this call because we still have some more exciting things to talk about. But if you go to reputation.com, the first thing you should see is a call to action to check your AI readiness. If you're looking within your reputation platform, it's not there yet. The second thing Cary demoed was what it will look like. That's coming later this summer, but the free report is live on reputation.com, and these enhancements and more are coming into the platform later this summer, and more information about that will come from your customer success manager. So if we go to the next slide, so Cary just identified 3, 4, 5 different things that are a requirement in this new world of AI search. Like there is a high bar that needs to be placed for your own properties to win and perform and really be found by those AI engines. But that bar is elevated, and that bar lives across every single one of your pages. So you need the technical site structure, you need consistent messaging, you need digestive content. All of your content needs to align with what consumers are asking, the prompts that are going into those LLMs to answer those questions, and you need authoritative trust signals. But if you manage 50 locations, 100 locations, 1,000 locations, that introduces exponential complexity to manage all of those sites and manage all of those sites at scale. So if we go to the next page, Cary gave a couple little sneak peeks of how this tool, how this data, how this analysis will integrate with our Pages product. So we're introducing in August a completely overhauled location pages product. Of course, we have location pages today where we can natively integrate with your business listings, take the name, address, profile, take name, address, phone number, take all of your business listings profile and build kind of SEO optimized pages for each and all of your locations. But we recognize that there needs to be more functionality into these pages to help our customers get ahead in this new AI world. So later in August, we're having a refresh, a retool, Pages 2.0, if you will, and introducing more self-service functionalities so your teams can make more edits on the fly. We're building in media libraries so your brand team can really help all of your individual locations with your brand photography, with the images and the iconography that you want to live across all of your location pages. Cary gave a little bit of a sneak peek, but building AI-powered answers and FAQs. So again, thinking about what consumers are searching for to make sure your location pages are answering those questions, and building the technical structure, building LLMS.txt files, JSON LD files, some of those things that help the AI engines understand what this page is, but some of that foundational level architecture that will be natively built into our new location pages. Ultimately, we want this tool to help you shape how AI is answering, and not just across your corporate brand domain, but all of the location pages all of the profiles. So if you're a hospital and you have all of your clinics and you have 3, 4, 5 different physicians that are working at those clinics, building all of those individual profiles into your location page ecosystem. So you're always showing up and being surfaced where consumers are searching. So if we go one more slide, here's a little bit of a sneak peek of the pages, and ultimately they're designed kind of with, of course, AI search in mind, but these are really high intent searches. If someone is going from Google Maps and clicking on your website, that is a very high intent click. So these pages are designed to drive higher conversions for you. So whatever your call to action is, if you're a restaurant and you want to drive consumers to make an order right now, if you're an automotive group and you want to schedule a service or book a test drive, if you're in a hospital setting, you want to book patients and schedule those appointments. So higher conversions in mind. We know that LLMs need and want to verify individual location data for those local oriented searches. So we can integrate your name, address, phone number, your menu, the service that you offer. And lastly, it's building trust in authority to all of those pages natively. So as consumers are looking for the best of this or the best of that, or want to understand if I can take my dog into this Joe and the Juice location, having reviews feeding into these pages, FAQs feeding into these pages, so you're always answering the questions that consumers are searching and giving that trusted signal of reviews, the power to the LLMs to very confidently surface, answer, and recommend your brand. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We talked about the outside in, now we're going to look at the inside out. So again, thinking about how you and your teams are using AI for your day-to-day workflow. And Reputation specifically, we're a Gemini shop. If you're a Microsoft shop, you might use Copilot, you might be OpenAI. Like there's different LLMs that you and your teams are adopting for your business decisions. And we want to talk about and give a sneak peek for how your reputation data can work and live inside these AI tools that your teams are using. So I'm going to pass now the microphone to Anu to talk about kind of the data ecosystem and what ultimately makes this possible. Anu?
Thanks, Seth. Yeah, this is really exciting time. We are at a turning point. So every company right now is asking the question, are we AI ready? Well, probably not. And that's not because they do not have the right models or the AI capabilities cannot help them, but most likely it's because their data is not ready. So Seth, if you can go to, sorry, Cary, please go to the next slide. Yeah, here's some statistics, some quotes. The one from Gartner says that 60% of the AI projects by the end of this year, they will be abandoned. And that's not because the models failed. It's because the data for these data wasn't there to support these. Legacy architecture in general resulted in fragmented data, and that is the biggest blocker for AI to scale. It's not talent, it's not tooling, it's really the data infrastructure. So before we talk how we can use AI, we really need to talk about that data transformation. So going to the next slide, it kind of shows what Reputation did for its data transformation. We had on the left side, you see the data as it existed, a couple of years ago. We have siloed, fragmented databases. We have surveys in a database, we have reviews in another, listings data elsewhere, the social signals are elsewhere. Each of these, they actually capture something real about your customers, but none of them are talking to each other in this left side picture. And that's not just inconvenient, but it basically doesn't work for AI. AI cannot reason across these fragmented data. It needs like a unified foundation so that it can generate meaningful insights, the ones that are accurate, that you can act upon. So what we built here at Reputation by completely re-architecting our data layer is what you see in this right-hand side. It's a one connected picture. Every signal, every source, every location brought together into a single view. Now, none of our ORM or CX competitors actually made this architectural investment. It's a huge engineering commitment, multi-year engineering commitment, but we made it because we knew that for AI to work, this was the necessary step. So, what does this look like now in the platform? So, going to the next slide, this is what this foundation actually looks like. At the center of it is that unified data layer. Uh, think of it as like the connective tissue. It takes all the reviews, surveys, social listings data, all of it, and turns it into this living map of customer sentiment and operational performance. It's the core of anything that we offer. Once that data layer is good, built, that is when you have the insight layer where you can draw a meaning from this raw data. We have deterministic insights, which are structured, reliable, repeatable analysis from this data. And then we have generative insights, which is where AI is able to surface these patterns and narratives, which we can't recognize on our own without AI because of its capability to look over huge data sets. So once you have these insights, you put them to action. That's where the execution layer comes in. The native workflows for our customers, like feedback generation, closed loop ticketing, listing management, all of that is these are the workflows you can do on the platform. And we have recently added agentic workflows, which is basically allows us to do proactive reporting and autonomous task execution for some of those native workflows for our customers. But the most exciting thing on this slide is really the right-hand corner where we talk about the headless layer. You don't have to be on our platform to see these insights. If our customers already have an AI ecosystem, they are already using AI tools, they can directly connect to this unified data layer and use their own familiar tools to derive these insights. So this is the part that I jumping into the next slide, I go into a little bit more detail. This is done through our Reputation MCP server. What you're looking at here is a reputation as the bridge between your customer's data, the customer's voice data in our platform, and the AI tools that the teams are already using within your company. So on the left, you have all those signals, the reviews, surveys, social data. And on the right are all the LLMs, anything that your teams are familiar with or find beneficial for their purposes, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever is being used by your companies. Through the Reputation MCP server, your AI assistants of choice can actually query your customer data. So not generic data, it's your data. So when a marketing leader within your company asks ChatGPT, what are customers saying about service quality at this location? It's not guessing. It is actually pulling that data from that unified data layer, which is a full connected picture of that location and gives a real grounded answer. So this is what AI ready actually means in practice, the ability to be able to do this. This is the foundation, and everything we talk about from here actually builds on top of that. So what is that and how does it work? Cary will give you a demo of one of these use cases. Over to you, Cary.
All right. Well, thanks, Anu. And the great thing about running product here at Reputation is just that I have a great thought partner with Anu, and just being able to have this architecture in place is makes me very excited. The What I'm going to show you here, I'm going to put a big asterisk by this, and that is that this is a technology preview of what is to come, but it is not what is to come next year. It's what's to come, very, very, very soon. Um, so last time I think we talked about Jiffy Lube and that kind of use case. Let's I'm going to switch hats now, and let's pretend like I work at the Reputation Repu Hospital system, which is healthcare, and I am I'm a power I'm a sorry, not a power user, but I'm an executive there. Maybe the same thing. I don't know. But I don't use the Reputation platform day in, day out, right? I have my team, my marketing team, my CX team that actually manages that for me. They create reports. I get them monthly, which is fine, but I've been really focused in on how AI can actually streamline some of those processes for me. So I've got an implementation of, sorry, I don't have it. I have the implementation of the Reputation MCP here that has been integrated with Claude, and I'm going to show you this here in just a second. Because I live in Claude I want to make sure that I can actually access the reputation data from Claude. So in this case here, my teams, I'm responsible for watching over these hospitals. I want to know how well they're performing. So I'm going to ask, give me their average star rating for online reviews, give me the review volume, give me the rep score. Um, and what you're seeing here in action is Claude working with Reputation's MCP to grab review summaries, to grab rep scores, to grab the location information, and actually render my hit list of who's on top and who's on the bottom. So as you can see, Claude does a beautiful job of doing visualizations. Love it. But what I'm concerned with here is if I look immediately at this list is Jacksonville is underperforming. And Claude has been pulling insights out of the Reputation platform, as you can see here, about each location. And it's doing this through the MCP calls. Um, so this kind of prompts me to wonder, like, okay, well, Jacksonville, is there something going on here? I see like there's no rep score. Maybe its listings are messed up. So I'm going to ask the question, how is it, are the listings correct for this location? Can it be found through AI search? And so Claude again is going to use the Reputation MCP service to pull that information in, give me the insights along with its own insights on AI search, and combine those two things together, right? So what we can see here is, yeah, no, not ready. Doesn't have a Google business profile. That's kind of a biggie. Also, that Facebook profile is not claimed either. So very, very troubling to that Jacksonville location is not ready for AI search. It's not even ready for just online reputation management. We need to do some fixing there immediately. So again, I just pulled that out simply using plain spoken words out of Claude. But let's say that my CHRO comes by and actually gives me the latest insight survey, basically a pulse survey of the organization. So we did a company-wide organization survey. I can drop that in to Claude. I can tell Claude, hey, I'm wondering, I've got a board meeting coming up. Can I actually is there a correlation between the poor performance of these sites that I'm seeing and the pulse survey? Maybe there's something that intersects there. And the great thing about using MCP and the reputation version of this when it's available is that you can start to combine different types of data sets together to deliver new insights that you couldn't just do in any one platform, right? So here I'm asking it to look at the pulse survey, look at the performance that I just pulled out of the reputation platform for sentiment and reviews, and see if there's some sort of correlation. So Claude is doing its thinking, it's pulling data from reputations, pulling data from that pulse survey, and it's going to generate me a nice report. And this is kind of where you can see tremendous time savings using MCP, where I can get this report, I can review it. My team didn't have to generate it for me. I can generate it myself and I can tweak it, right? So as we look through this, you'll see here, and I'll scroll down, that there is a pretty strong correlation between the actual Pulse survey and the reputation average star rating that we pulled from the platform. Um, that's problematic, right? So maybe there's some things that I can do to improve morale inside of the corporation. It looks like here that there's a burnout rate that's happening. That's not good, right? So maybe there's some things that I can do very quickly as an executive to help make my team more effective, to build that trust with AI, and also to deliver much improved performance. And again, this was done very quickly using the Reputation MCP and also some data from an external source. And this is the paradigm that we're going to start to see how online reputation management can be combined with other data types in a novel way. So really excited about that. Again, this is a preview, a lot more to come over the summer. So there we go. I'm going to hand it back over to you, Seth.
Yeah, thanks, Cary. And that is, I mean, I think a really good example of the headless layer that Anu was talking about, where you can get into the reputation platform without actually being into the reputation platform. That was one use case, one example, but I think what the exciting thing is there's a world of opportunities out there, and no matter what vertical you're in, no matter what data sets you have, like this enables you to start to marry and unify and really kind of have your reputation data be at the center of the business decisions that you're making. So that could be Google Analytics data that feeds into there, that could be your financial data, your CRM data. So really exciting to see as this comes live, what our customers can build with this, and kind of how you and your teams can go back to your CFO, your COO, your CEO, and prove the value of online reputation data and kind of what that does for the ROI, the revenue, the bottom line of your business. So that was a lot that we just talked about. So the GEO Readiness Report, want to give you a little sneak peek of to what's coming, what's live, what's coming, and when. So the three things that we talked about today, the first was the GEO Readiness Report. The free version that Cary demoed is live. It's on reputation.com. So again, if you encourage you all to go and check that, as Cary said, share that with your teams. Book time with your customer success manager if you're not a reputation customer. Surely, if you fill that report out, we'll surely be reaching out because we would love to walk through that report with you. Coming later this summer is a full in-platform experience. So that was the sneak peek demonstration that Cary walked through, where that starts to be more natively integrated with your business listing, starts to see more native integration with our locations product. But looking at August timeframe for the full in-platform experience for our reputation customers. The second piece that we talked about is our location pages. Reputation has had a pages product for a number of years that is live, that has been live, but some of the AI enhancements that we talked about, where we're kind of thinking about the site structure of your location pages as we start to build AI-powered FAQs into our location pages. Those enhancements will go live in August as well. Then the Reputation MCP, that was the last thing that Cary demonstrated, that was kind of asking the questions within Claude, and whether you use Claude or Gemini or OpenAI/ChatGPT, having that MCP server access is going live later this summer as well. So we're kind of a quarter out for a lot of these milestones. Some of them are available today, but some really exciting enhancements on the horizon. So kind of hope that you can start to see how reputation is kind of building AI in the center of everything that we do, and whether that is how your consumers are finding you and coming into your business, or whether how you can use your reputation data ingest it into the AI tools that you and your teams are using. But kind of as the theme of it was outside in and inside out, hopefully you can kind of understand how kind of AI and reputation is kind of weaving into these critical work streams that are impacting consumers and both businesses alike. So one final slide, just kind of a quick reminder that go check your GEO readiness, looking through the chat. See, a lot of you already have. But again, if you visit reputation.com, up in the top screen, there's a check your AI readiness. If you have any issues, reach out to your customer success manager. And again, we would love the opportunity to walk you through that report. And with that said, we would say 15 minutes for questions, and very impressed that we finished at 10:45 Chicago time, right on the dot. I know there has been a number of questions that have been coming through as you've been going through the content. If anything is top of mind for you, if you would like to ask a question for any of the panelists, there is a Q&A functionality within the Zoom tools. So feel free to drop any questions. We're very happy to answer those live. And I've been tracking questions as we've been going along. So we'll start to answer those now. But again, if you have a question, feel free to drop it into that Q&A. But the first question, Cary, I'll throw this one to you. It was about the GEO Readiness Report and some of the recommendations. I mean, it's good to see that you have a gap, or maybe there's a problem. Maybe you're a D today and you want to get to an A, and you have to get to an A, you got to become a C, then a B, then an A. But can you tell us about some of the recommendations as we identify the gaps? Like, what will we be doing to kind of help guide our customers of the specific actions, the tweaks, the actions that they can take to close those gaps and ultimately improve their GEO readiness?
Let me come off mute there. There we go. So yeah, sure, absolutely. So as customers run this analysis on their pages, we will be identifying. So we've established some best practices for remedying things. So we look at structural issues, things like, do you have the right LLMS.txt files? Do you have the right, schema.org markup on your sites? And those are more prescriptive kind of structural things that we will definitely help the customers with auditing. But then there'll be other pieces like I talked about earlier, like the trust signals. If you have a lot of content that isn't trustworthy and through the lens of AI, we will help you with those corrections and to get your pages more optimized. It's really about building trust with the AI. And so we'll have on-platform tools to help out. We will also have our managed services team capability to also help out with those types of things. So a lot more to come on that.
Yeah, essentially there will be kind of a priority action plan that you can take back to your team or work with our team to close some of those gaps so you can continuously improve in this new GEO world. And kind of there's ongoing audits, especially once it's live in the platform, kind of ongoing audits that Cary demonstrated that you can see where you're at today. Maybe you roll out and implement these changes in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now. How are you improving and ideally moving the needle in the right direction? Then kind of on this same topic, Cary, I'm going to come back to you again, but kind of questions about what will the experience be for listings customers. So I know the report right now is focused on one individual listing as you fill that in, but can you, I know you talked about it a little bit, but can you shine kind of a light of how our listings and our pages customers can really take action on these and improve their overall experience?
Well, absolutely. So we will have that report that I showed a preview of in the platform. There were two sides to that report. The first was the brand profile piece, which is actually, how your brand is perceived by AI. And then the other piece was locations. And so for every location, so if you have your locations managed within the Reputation platform, we can deep dive into each one of those locations and score those through the lens of AEO and GEO. Today, we have capabilities that can help you with that in the platform called AI Location Presence and AI Reputation Manager. And so those will continue to be enhanced in the platform. So the tool set will be there, and then the guidance for how to remedy deficiencies, or how to make your presence more verbose or more available through the lens of AI will be available also on the platform.
Awesome. Thanks, Cary. Now, Anu, I'm going to come to you, and the question is about the unified data layer, and just kind of help our audience understand like the power of the unification of that data layer and how ingesting those signals together can give businesses the ability to derive stronger insights about the state of their business.
Yeah. The 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 biggest capability of AI is to look at a wide data set, a broad data set. So AI doesn't work great when the data is fragmented because it can only look for patterns within that data set. But once you relate that data and AI is able to see, oh, this reviews data is related to this surveys and these social signals, it is then able to ingest all of that together to derive the insights. So these insights are much more meaningful, they're more accurate, and they can give the more very dedicated actions to our customers on what they need to do, to how do they act upon that. So without the data transformation, it is always looking at these smaller data sets, getting some input from there. And if there's conflicting data in the other signals, it's not able to kind of put them together. So that's where this transformation really helped. And now we look at it as a whole connected picture, like I mentioned during the presentation. And so the insights are much more meaningful and accurate and can be acted upon to really see a turnaround in the business.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, and I think the power of it becomes once you start to marry your public feedback from reviews, your private feedback from surveys. Not always does your NPS correlate with your star rating, and starting to kind of drill into some of those discrepancies. Maybe there's correlations, but without having that unified point of view, it's really hard to have true meaning, because it becomes noise at that point and can create some confusion for you. So I think that's ultimately is, from my point of view, our strongest value proposition is the unification of all of that, all of those signals from your customers, and bringing that together to really kind of uncover these meaningful business impact decisions, and how you and your teams can take action to ultimately improve the customer experience, and kind of up level your point of view from through the eyes of your consumers. Cary, I'm going to come back to you. This is a question about the Pages product, and I mean, it sounds scary, especially if you're a marketer on the call and you're thinking about managing and building out Pages for hundreds and hundreds of locations. But with some of that self-service functionality, like, do you need to be a developer? Do you need to have kind of the knowledge of HTML and CSS to manage and update and maintain these location pages?
Yeah, I think that is a more than fair question. Though I am a recovering software engineer, I do not want to actually push that upon a marketer to actually manage their Pages deployment. So the Pages 2.0 is really the focus has been and will continue to be, how do we make things easy and self-service. So your team can easily manage local assets. They can manage the FAQs on their own, right? It's going to be very, very simple. Now, from the technical side, because there is obviously a technical component to AEO, we will embed the AI schema, the LLMs.txt files, all of that stuff that needs to be there for the LLM to digest. We will take care of that for you behind the scenes. So there's no there that will be opaque to a marketer. But happy to dig into that if you want. But yeah, that
Yeah, then I think adding one point to that as well is we have a professional services that works with you and your web team, your design, your brand team as we're building out these pages. Fortunately, you can rely on the web designers from Reputation that will kind of build these pages out. So yeah, you don't need to have kind of the trauma of Cary of being a software engineer for the last 20 plus years, and you can rely on Reputation's team to build these pages and build them at scale. Coming back now to you, Anu, about the MCP server, Cary had demoed asking Claude pulling data out of the platform, but what's your point of view of building the functionality where Claude can write back into the Reputation platform and building more agentic capabilities within the MCP server?
Yes, that would be a great use case to expand into. It all is determined by the APIs that we support that this MCP server can call. And currently, we have a limited set of APIs that are being called through this. But it's all about developing that muscle more. Initially, it is our first release will probably have only the capabilities like the one that Cary showed, where you pull data and learn from it. Whereas very soon, by probably the end of the year, we would have the intelligent capabilities. So to be able to then call on the intelligence that we have built in our platform, the agentic workflows that we have built into our platform, exposing those to our API again to be able to be used from Claude or ChatGPT through our MCP server. So I think that will be a great use case for perhaps the next webinar to show.
Yeah, as Cary was going through the demonstration, there was the question about Jacksonville Hospital, and Claude said that, yeah, some of these listings aren't fully registered, but kind of in a future state, you would have the ability to, say, update that business listings, connect into my Reputation account, and push those updates to Google or to Bing or to Apple, kind of that in delivery point, and kind of that platform architecture slide that Hanua talked through. We had the platform layer on the left. There's the headless layer off to the right, and there's that agentic capability where you can take actions and have jobs to be done through Claude in a fully agentic experience without logging into the Reputation platform, which is super exciting, mind-blowing, and I don't think anyone could have envisioned this 12 months ago, even 6 months ago, of kind of all of this rapidly developing and being at our fingertips so quickly. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. There was another question in the Q&A, a really smart question that is probably a little bit over my head, but the question was, in a recent 2026 paper, The AI Layoff Trap, XYZ Doctor of Mathematics is making the argument that as AI continues to develop and being utilized in the way it's currently being utilized, companies have the potential to lose the markets that they're selling into. So the question is, how is Reputation ensuring that our AI usage and what we're building on the AI front is avoiding that, especially as anyone can vibe code anything very, very quickly. How are we preventing that other third-party LLM developers aren't getting into our turf and kind of creating risk for us as a business?
It's a great question, and we need I'd say like 30 minutes to discuss that. But I think from us, everything that we're doing within the product side as well as the engineering side is research based. And so when we do develop these applications, though as much as I'd like to vibe code them, they are built in foundational research from our data scientists. And so from our perspective, when we build products that address that we're building out there, we're building it with the humans in the loop as well. So like for brand guidelines, we're not just assuming that your brand is being pulled from your website. We want to know what your brand is. So there's prevention there where your enterprise has presence in our platform. You control what that is, and then you can control the messaging. So in some ways, that's my 2 bits, but I think I would have to think about that question a little bit more. That's a pretty beefy question.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, and I think Anu and some of the analyst reports really hit the nail on the head, that everyone's building AI, but 60%, as Gartner said, 60% of these AI projects are going to fail because of lack of good data. And I think at the end of the day, that's, again, I said this is our differentiator, and I stand by that. The data that Reputation has, all of the reviews data and the NLP and the NLU that we've used, analyzing billions and billions of data points, all of your surveys data, analyzing that, mapping that to the customer journey, giving you these really kind of detailed lens of what sentiment looks like. The power of the data ecosystem, there's over 10 billion signals that Reputation analyzes day in and day out. We have our proprietary reputation score that analyzes more than 3.5 billion reputation scores, 1.5 million scores every single day. And I think that ultimately is the power of Reputation. It's the data that we're collecting, and it's the voice of your customers, and building AI on top of that to derive, to generate, and create that meaning for you, and bring that intelligence to your team. Because at the end of the day, we should always be building for our customers, and we're sitting on the data that is the voice of your customers. So we are officially at time. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and joining us. There will be, the recording is on demand. It was recorded, so we will certainly share this recording out with you. But if you have questions, if you're a customer, reach out to your customer success team. If you're not a Reputation customer, we would love the opportunity to talk more with you, to chat more with you, and really have a joint venture conversation of how Reputation can help you kind of not just win in the new world of AI search, but can help you make sense of all of that data so you and your team can make smarter business decisions that can set you apart from your competitors. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and hope you all have a great rest of your day.